heat up your frozen dinners, grab your TV tray, and settle in for another episode of the Plus Platoon, your podcast for all things Disney Plus, brought to you by Disney Plus fans. Watch along with us every week as we cover all the new, the old, the good, and the bad on Disney Plus. So put down that remote, don't touch that dial, and welcome your fabulous Plus Platoon host.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Plus Platoon. My name's Derek. We are a Disney Plus fan podcast that gives honest, spoiler-filled reviews of movies and shows on Disney Plus. We look at new releases, coming attractions, and we'll even go back into the vault to revisit some of the classic Disney that's on the platform. Make sure you're subscribed and you will never miss a moment. I'm going to bring in my girl, Kate. Kate, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing so well, getting to hang out with my tuners. I'm doing good.
And we're a small platoon tonight. We have got also with us Peter. Pete, how you doing this evening?
Hey, everybody. I'm the bottom row tonight.
Yeah, the bottom row. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. We had others had some issues, so we're gonna be a trio. Platrio? Are we a platrio?
That works for me.
Let's move on. Please make sure, guys, like, subscribe, share, and get the word out because we love having you guys all here and we want more of you to join us. Let us know if you're here tonight, by the way. Going to bring in now, we have got the Disney Plus news. Kate, what do we got this week?
Ooh, it's time for the Disney Plus news. Hey, everybody. All right, so Disney Plus news tonight on this beautiful Tuesday. First of all, Marvel and Sony have announced that they are going to be making another Spider-Man trilogy featuring Tom Holland. This will not be done in association with Disney at this point. So its connection to the Disney MCU is unknown. So we will, as soon as we know anything more, we'll let you know. Number two, rumors are surfacing about a release date for the Eternals on Disney Plus. The suspected date is January 12th. Which would allow the movie to stay in theaters through the lucrative Christmas season. Disney knows how to work the lucrative Christmas season. So, number three, the Book of Boba Fett dropped a new trailer this week. The show premieres on December 29th. And last but certainly not least, in news that will break the hearts of all of the Platoon members, but especially Pete, the Disney Plus series Turner and Hooch is not going to be returning for a second season. So back to you, Derek. Oh, you are muted.
Of course I am. It's been one of those days. I was like, the fact that none of us watched the season and we're willing to watch just about anything should kind of tell you what was out of the season.
Is this the first show that's actually been canceled after one season?
That I've heard of, yes.
Yeah.
Some of them, they just haven't announced a second season yet.
Yeah.
Like, they haven't announced Falcon and Winter Soldier season 2. They haven't announced.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, this is the first one that I've heard. Yeah, we're not doing that.
On the Room season 2.
It was just a documentary, though. It was a one-time documentary.
That's fine.
Yeah, I know. I haven't heard about Doogie season 2.
True. Yeah.
So, and we do have Ed joining us tonight. Steve joining us tonight. We've got Ed joining us tonight. So, gonna have a lot of fun. This week, we have, much to my joy and love, another Marvel series. We've got Hawkeye. Episodes 1 and 2 were out this week. So, Pete, I'm going to start with you. What was on target with the series so far?
So, for the most part, I'm liking the show. I mean, it's always hard to judge a show when you've only watched part of it. But, one thing I always like about these type of characters, I like a character that's more based on reality. I mean, I know I rated the Loki series really high, but I think it's always kind of interesting how you handle a character like a Hawkeye or a Black Widow that aren't really super powered. They're just regular people that are really good at something. So I like that aspect of it. I like some of the humor in it. I thought the Steve Rogers, the musical stuff was really funny. And, some of the other, there were enough funny bits in it that I thought was better than a lot of what we've seen, which has been pretty serious. And I'll go with that for the things I've liked the best about it. What about you, Derek?
I will agree. I like the fact that it's really trying with the humor and not taking itself too seriously. We're looking at you, Falcon and Winter Soldier. It hasn't been too heavy for me so far on the fight scenes. I mean, they're there, but it hasn't been all fighting all the time, which I've liked. I like that they're introducing a couple of questionable characters in the series, not just pure good or bad. Echo has her own show coming, who is, by the way, the girl at the end of episode 2 is Echo. So, she is kind of she eventually becomes an Avenger, or at least helps out the Avengers. I do like the fact that she's being played by a deaf actress. So, so that's really nice for Disney. Finally got that one right.
Yeah, she's also Native American. The character is deaf and Native American, and as the actress is as well. So,
we've got Swordsman been introduced, who has a varied character throughout the Marvel universe. He actually becomes an Avenger after he threatens to kill Captain if he's not let in the comics.
Is that the stepdad or future?
Yeah, that's the stepdad. Yeah, that's the future stepdad. The guy with all the swords is the swordsman. I like the plot about Clint wanting to get back to his family before Christmas. I like that it sets a good time limit on the story. Spoiler alert, I bet he makes it.
Spoiler alert, I bet he doesn't.
Oh, I bet he does. I bet he gets there on Christmas.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. I would argue though that any event could have to be back for an anniversary, have to be back for a birthday. So, like Die Hard, I will say this is a show that takes place at Christmas. This is not a Christmas show.
So far.
So far, anyway. So, Kate, how about you? What have you liked about it so far?
The musical portion made me laugh out loud. Being a musical theater person, also one of the guys who was in the musical was Adam Pascal, who was in the original musical of Rent and Aida.
Okay.
And Something Rotten. Yeah, he is a Broadway superstar. And so when he popped up, because he was singing, I was like, I know that voice, and I've seen him live before. And anyway, so that made me laugh. So funny. And when his daughter is like, you turned off your hearing aids? And then she's like, yeah, but you look cool up there. That was so well done. I love Kate's character. And not just because she has a dope name, but I love how they wrote her. She is funny. She reminds me of someone, and I can't figure out exactly who it is. A little bit, she reminds me of the girl from WandaVision. Excuse me, it's late here. She reminds me of the girl from WandaVision who was the computer nerd.
Oh, yeah. Darcy.
A little bit of her. I feel like Kate is the amalgam of a bunch of characters that I've seen before, all coming into one. She's hilarious. If this was only about her, I would still watch it. Even if Hawkeye wasn't a part of it, I would watch a series on her. Yes, the timeline thing, I was like, oh, let's see how many episodes this has if he'll get home. 6. Okay, cool.
6.
Yeah. So I loved it. I thought it was great. I'm sure I'll think of more as we keep going.
Yeah. Ryan says he's looking forward to seeing where the series goes after the first 2 episodes. Amy's with us, says the musical was hilarious for how bad it was on purpose. I did love the fact that he said Ant-Man wasn't there.
I can do this all day.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Sam who said she wanted to see a Marvel musical? But then he said, yeah, it was in reference to the only way Derek would like a Marvel show. That's not fair. I liked Ant-Man. So, I liked WandaVision.
You liked WandaVision, yeah.
We don't know what I liked if I like this yet or not. I think it's too early to say. Willie says Becca made a great point. The Echo has former widow vibes. Yeah, possibly. Could be one of the many widows around the world, and we'll tie back to Yelena. Maybe that doesn't fit her. That doesn't fit the character from that doesn't fit the character from the comics.
But they don't always match the characters exactly.
True.
So
yeah. Now that's what's on target. What missed the mark? And because it's me and a Marvel show, I'm going to lead off on this one. First thing was, if you don't remember the Avengers and the fight scene at the end of the Avengers, you have no clue what's going on at the beginning of episode 1. No clue, because that takes place during the fight scene in the Avengers. And so you can get lost really from the beginning. You also need to know about the main events of Endgame, especially with Natasha dying and how he kind of zones out during, Rogers the Musical. I've got another big problem is 2 episodes in, we're just barely getting to the plot. If this was a movie and we're an hour and a half in and we're just getting the plot and meeting some of the leaders, you guys would be calling out, although based on the way some of you guys have reacted to the previous shows, maybe not. So some of my typical complaints about Marvel, but Kate, what isn't working for you?
Yeah. When the episode started, I was like, oh, where is this going? Like, who are these characters we're introducing? And then it was like, oh, we're going to play checkers. Oh, no. And then it's like, oh, no, a parent dies. What? What is this, Disney?
Yeah, I know, that's shocking.
So that to me was just a tiny bit predictable. But I don't have a lot negative to say. The plot feels a tiny bit forced. And I don't have any
compared to what Marvel that's not.
Well, good point. I do think, and I could be totally wrong on this, but I would not it would not surprise me if they are setting Kate up to become Hawkeye.
Oh, totally.
Oh, dear Lord. Yes.
She is Hawkeye in the Young Avengers. She is Hawkeye in the Young Avengers. Okay. So, yeah, totally.
But I think you're right, Derek, that you had to have some prior knowledge. And a small reminder for everyone, Kate is watching through chronologically all the Avengers, everything. So, and it's taking forever. It's really good. And I'm learning so much. But I missed the whole jacket, whose jacket that was. That didn't compute to me. And who these bad guys are and why this jacket is such a bad deal and why Hawkeye got triggered so much. Yeah, Derek. Yeah, I
no clue.
That just went so over my head.
So I do want to say we really don't know who the bad guys are. You wouldn't know that at all.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The only part of it that came from Endgame is that when his family was killed in the snap, like all 3 of his kids and his wife, and then he basically became this Ronin character.
This Avenger bounty hunter murderer.
Right.
So Hawkeye called himself Ronin.
Ronin.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
So, and for whatever reason, he left the outfit in the Avengers campus, and
then
it got stolen, I guess.
And whose watch is that?
That nobody knows.
Oh yeah, I didn't get that either. Well, and then I did laugh when he had to go and fight the medieval people. And he was like,
LARPing.
at least make it look good or something. And he goes, oh, and I fought Thanos. And I just, that made me laugh out loud. Yeah, I don't have a lot negative to say right now. I think I need to watch a little bit more. And again, it was #confused Kate. Because then I'm like, crap, who's Ronin? I thought it was Thanos was the bad guy. Wait, who's Ronin? How did I miss that? So
yeah, they don't explain that particularly well, but that's they just show one clip of him as Ronin
Yeah.
from Endgame, but yeah, they
Yeah.
don't.
And
I mean,
Yeah.
they kind of like he's talking to his wife about it on the phone, but even there, they don't really come out and say it, do they?
Right. Right.
Um,
Go ahead,
I
Pete.
would. It's my turn.
Yeah.
I'm going to argue a little against Derek's comment that on the pacing that it's not paced like a movie. It isn't a movie; it's a TV series. So it, I don't mind that it's paced slower. Most TV series don't give you the entire plot in the first episode. But on the negative side, I will say, like watching the first episode, I was like, because Hawkeye has always kind of been a side character, even though he's an Avenger. And like in the first episode, it's like so Hawkeye's a side character in his own series. Like it was
Yeah.
like it seemed like it was like 80% Kate Bishop, and then there was a little bit of Hawkeye. It improved in the second episode as they teamed up together. We saw a lot more of him, and like I feel like I want to find out more about him besides that, like he's married and have kids. That's like
Yeah.
his
And that
whole
he's a
plot point.
devoted family man. Yeah.
Right. That's his whole like entire character arc. And he was friends with Black Widow. And I don't feel like I've found anything more about him really other than that so far. So yeah, I'm hoping, I don't know, I'm hoping we'll get a little more into him. And I also hoping he'll get a little less grumpy, because it seems like mostly we're getting, grumpy dad Hawkeye so far.
Isn't that
And
all he ever does?
yeah.
That's his thing.
Well, I don't want that thing the whole time. I want I
feel that.
guess I'm looking forward to getting maybe Kate Bishop mentor Hawkeye somewhere
Okay.
along the way.
I feel that. I feel that.
Yeah. Now, looking forward to getting stuff leads us in to our next thing. What do we want from the rest of the series? We've got 4 episodes left, so we're a third of the way into the series. Kate, what do you want to see yet in the series?
Yeah, I want to really dive deeper into the character of Kate. I want to know her even better. I want to really understand her reasoning for things, even though we do have a good grasp on, like, I will tell you, I actually really loved the opening and how they pulled that in, that they showed the big scary thingy flying over. So you were like, oh, okay, this is from the Avengers. Okay, that makes sense. And seeing her see Hawkeye, she didn't see Hulk or Cap or even Black Widow or anyone. She saw Hawkeye, and I thought that was really cool. That was a really cool moment to me. But so I would really like to dig into Kate. Pete, I think I know what you're saying. That I would love to see his softer side and his a little bit more human, not so like this all the time. Because he's giving very like Wolverine vibes right now, like just really grumpy. And so yeah, I would like to see his softer side a little bit, but we'll see. I'll be honest, I don't know where this is gonna go. But I haven't known where any of the TV shows were headed. So Pete, what about you?
More pizza dog.
Yes. Yes. More dog. Yeah.
I think we're gonna get more too, because he was on the poster. So but no, I think that I'm interested to see what's going on with Kate's mom, because like they're making it like the stepdad's the villain, but they're like making it so obvious that he is. I don't think he is. So I wonder about the mom. And so I agree with you that I want to see more of what Kate's dynamics are. And I don't know. I mean, the whole thing about like her from being from a rich family, it seems like there's way too many superheroes that like come from money. I guess it's easier. It's like everything else. It's easier to be a superhero if you're flush with
Loaded.
cash, right?
Yeah, or on the government payroll.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I just want to see, I just want to see where it's going to go in terms of like her family dynamic and, what we're going to find out there, because it feels like that's not as related to the Ronin thing, but the main plot, but I think it's going to kind of all tie together. And I'm just I'm just hoping, as I said, I'm just hoping that it's just an entertaining show, that it stays with some level of humor.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yes.
and it doesn't get too heavy into mythology and things like that, that we stay in reality more. So, what about you, Derek?
I would say the first thing is we've only got 4 episodes left. Don't give me too many more new characters. Don't give me
Oh, that's fair.
Don't give me 2 new characters every show, because
That's
then you're going to run out of time. We need to keep progressing towards some sort of a plot conclusion, because you got to remember, with 4 episodes left, we were halfway through Falcon and Winter Soldier, and we had met most of our characters.
Yeah.
So, to me, this is this sets up Echo, and this sets up Kate Bishop as Hawkeye and the Young Avengers. That's the reason for this show, to me. I have heard the next 2 episodes total 80 minutes, so average 40 minutes a piece, which is short.
Yeah.
Especially when you figure that 10 minutes of that is credits.
Yes.
So
if that's the case, yeah.
That may not necessarily be a good sign. Pete, I'll go with you on the stepdad. I think he's going to end up helping them at the end, because again, that goes back to the whole, is he a good guy, is he a bad guy character, that we don't really, that he's got kind of both sides in the origin stories. So I think he is going to end up jumping in. I'm not so sure about the mom.
We're talking about Kate's mom?
Kate's mom, yeah.
Got it.
But you also got to
something for sure.
You also got to realize Yelena's out there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yelena's out there. Remind me, who's Yelena?
Black Widow's sister.
Right.
Who has the hit out on Hawkeye?
Yep.
She's out there somewhere, and that's jumping.
I'm so proud of you for remembering all of that. I'm so proud of you.
That's why I take notes.
I'm very proud.
But she's going to show up. I hope she shows up by the end of episode 3. Otherwise, it's just going to be kind of okay, yeah, there she is. So, I mean, I agree totally, Pete. It's got to keep the humor. It's got to keep some of the lightheartedness. Otherwise, and from what they've shown in the trailers, I think it will. But if it gets super serious all of a sudden, to me, it's going to lose me. So, Ryan says he definitely agrees with Pete. Good to see that Hawkeye has kids. Totally forgotten he had 3 kids. And I have seen something where the kids they cast actually cause a timeline issue, because they cast the same actors that were in Endgame. They cast the same kid actors, and they should be older.
Well, they shouldn't. They were snapped.
But this is still taking place later. Like, they should be like 2. I've seen something where they should be like 2 years older than they are now, based on how it is. So
I don't think it's too bad.
Willie says, a Kingpin appearance and possibly a Daredevil cameo. I don't think we're at Daredevil cameo yet. I think we're close. I think because Daredevil does come in with Echo. Daredevil and Echo are together.
I am biased, but Daredevil, it's really dark, like the TV series, which is not on Disney Plus. It is really dark, but the fighting choreography is so good. It's so good.
But would it go TV show or movie? I think they'd go the Ryan Reynolds movie one.
Probably the movie. I mean, yeah, I prefer the TV show, but you know what? I would agree that and maybe this is just me being tired in life and needing some humor. I feel like people are just wanting to laugh right now. We are still wanting that superhero, like that savior kind of thing, but we also want to laugh because there's so much serious stuff going on in the world right now that all of us just really want to laugh. So if they keep the humor, A+.
Yeah. Okay. I think, and Kate even said that in this last episode, right? She was like talking to Hawkeye and it's like, oh, people don't want broody heroes anymore. They want upbeat heroes. So I think that's kind of hinting that that the show is going to stay kind of on the lighter side, which again, I think is good.
And this, he says, Charlie Cox is Daredevil. My apologies. I was thinking Deadpool.
You were thinking Deadpool.
Yeah, that's where I was going. So, what, you don't want to bring Ben Affleck back as Daredevil?
I have not seen Deadpool, believe it or not.
Hmm.
I love
Deadpool doesn't really fit in the MCU.
No, it doesn't. No. But that's why I said Ryan Reynolds, is I got the two switched up. Ed says he thinks Grumpy Hawkeye plays well, had to take the fate and F the world on his shoulders and lost friends. He's got to be tired of the world. He just wants to be a dad. He just wants to go home and be a dad.
Yeah.
So
and I get it.
I think it's going to be real interesting to see what comes up. As I said, we have 4 more episodes. It wraps up right after Christmas. No, it wraps up before Christmas. So it wraps up the 22nd. It wraps up December 22nd. So we've got that to go on. Now,
in time, he no matter what, he'll finish in time.
He will get home in time for Christmas.
Well played, Pete. Well played.
Now, one of our original thoughts about next week was watching the Beatles documentary Get Back. Pete and I have started watching that, and Pete, what are your thoughts?
So I sent a text to the group yesterday, I think it was, and basically saying I don't think we spend much time on this show. It's one of those things that if you're a big Beatles fan, if you're a big behind the music type person, it's an interesting show, but it needs to be edited. You can tell already that Peter Jackson, who is the one that put the footage together, just going through the first episode, it should be half the length it is at least. There's some really good stuff in there, but it's very much a bit of a slog to get through. And at that point, having watched part of that first episode, I was like, no, we shouldn't make this whole group watch this, because if you're not a Beatles fan, it's just not for you.
Yeah.
And what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely agree. There are moments. It was fascinating watching Paul McCartney go from strumming the guitar for 30 to 40 seconds and having nothing to all of a sudden having Get Back under his fingers and having some of the words. It's interesting watching the dynamic. You can really see how George Harrison was wanting to be more involved, and they were basically saying no.
Mm-hmm.
And that's interesting. My wife did say that she thought she had trouble remembering that this is actually those guys and not people acting as those guys. Because, I mean, think about it. You've seen Bohemian Rhapsody. You've seen all those others. Right. Those are actors. These are actually Paul, George, Ringo, and John. And Yoko, because she was there every time. And those weird Hare Krishna guys that were George Harrison's friends. So, I mean, I agree. If you are a hardcore Beatles fan, you might enjoy this. It was originally designed to be a single documentary, not a 7.5 hour documentary. So, yeah, I definitely say get Peter Jackson away from it and see what, someone else could do with it. But, okay, now, next week, we have got...
Are we done already?
We are.
I want to talk some more. That was only 30 minutes.
Well, okay, sure.
We had fun.
What have you guys been watching that's not assigned? What have you guys been watching out there that we aren't, quote unquote, talking about? I will say one thing for me. I tried to watch the Queen family sing along. Don't. Freddie Mercury is somewhere like trying to actively dig his way out of his grave to say no. You don't need Miss Piggy singing Queen.
Oh no, definitely not.
Now, Animal doing the Mamma Mia on Bohemian Rhapsody was funny, but don't do the Queen family sing along.
Actually, did you ever see them? There was a Muppets that was on YouTube where
the Bohemian Rhapsody.
They did the Bohemian Rhapsody.
Hilarious.
That is hilarious.
Yes.
Now the only thing we've been watching is we've been catching up. They've released a lot more seasons of the Secrets of the Zoo, which
Okay.
there's now like 4 shows of that now. There's like a Tampa. Well, there was already a Tampa, but now there's like a North Carolina and Australia. And I don't know, the show's kind of repetitive, but boy, it's really fascinating seeing them taking care of animals and how they have to deal with it and everything. I don't know. I can't get enough of those shows. So that's what we've been watching.
Yep.
Kate?
For me, like I said, we've been watching through all of Marvel. So we are somewhere now in between. We're bouncing back and forth between Daredevil, Luke Cage, and Jessica Jones, the TV shows, which are not on Disney Plus. The last movie we watched was Age of Ultron, Avengers: Age of Ultron.
So
which was
you're
very
like
good.
watching like the Agents of Shield too, but trying to smack the movies in the middle.
Yep. So we've
Interesting.
got
Okay.
it. We've got it in chronological order, and the list that we're following even says like Luke Cage episodes 1 through 4, Daredevil 1 through 4, Jessica Jones 1 through 4, Luke Cage episode 2 and 3, or like or whatever. And so it has it all.
I don't know if I would like watching it that way.
It's fascinating.
Yeah. Steve says he's an Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man and the Wasp,
So.
yeah. The only other thing that I have I'm a big Christmas movie fan, and Disney Plus has the original, The Santa Claus with Tim Allen, and that movie is just
it does have all 3 of them. I will say, yeah, it has all 3 of them. I will say for a kid of the 80s and early 90s, Ernest Saves Christmas is now on Disney Plus. So if you're an Ernest fan, and I think you kind of have to be our age or older, Kate.
I love Ernest.
To remember Ernest. Although I would argue it's the best of all the Ernest movies, which I know may not be saying much, but it is. The Ernest Goes to Camp and Ernest, all those are just terrible. This one I actually remember seeing in the theaters. So that is on there. Now, they are also Ice Age is coming out, is being released on Disney Plus this week. So there is that.
The first one?
The first one, yes.
Yeah, that's actually good.
Yeah. Ed's got, wow, Kate, watching strict chronological order takes a lot of discipline. Glenn says, wow, Kate, that's a full-time job. He's rewatching just the MCU movies with his son. Finally joined him in the theater for No Way Home. MCU is a lot of hours a movie.
It is.
And especially when you have a son who won't watch the MCU movies, and for most of the time him growing up, it was Cars or Toy Story. So
yeah,
you don't like the MCU, so it's good if your kids don't.
But I was never exposed to it.
Yeah.
So
it looks like the next movie I have is Ant-Man, and then Agents of Shield, season 3, episodes 1 through 19, and then Iron Fist season 1, and then Captain America: Civil War. So yeah.
And you haven't seen Captain America: Civil War?
I have not. So the ones I haven't seen yet, I haven't seen Civil War. I have seen Black Widow. I don't think I've seen all of Doctor Strange. I have seen Black Panther. I have seen Homecoming. I have seen Ragnarok. I've not seen Ant-Man and the Wasp. I have seen Infinity War. I have seen Endgame.
Okay.
So
yeah, I really love. Actually, I guess Winter Soldier is like one of my absolute favorites, and Civil War is really good too, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Glenn says skip the Iron Fist. So
yeah, I couldn't make it through the Netflix series. I watched the first season of Daredevil and I liked it, but then we got into the second season and I never made it through the second season.
Yeah. And, I don't know if I'm gonna like the Punisher, because they add in the Punisher, and I'm just not sure if I'm gonna like that one very much. But
yeah,
we'll see.
Right. So next week, Kate's in charge. Yay!
Words you never want to hear.
Because we have different family commitments, but it will be Kate next week, and Kate will be doing Hawkeye episode 3, and the documentary Adventure Through the Disney Archives, which was, I believe, Pete, originally shown at D23 last year.
I don't know if they showed it there, but it was like released to D23 members. So you had to be like a member to see it.
Okay. I've been actually watching it today. I've enjoyed it. It reminds me a lot of the old Peter Benchley Reluctant Dragon movie. And they actually reference that at the beginning, so it kind of sets it up that way. So that's what we got coming up next week. As always, guys, if you have suggestions, because one episode of Hawkeye is not going to give us a full episode for us. So, especially if they're shorter episodes. So, give us suggestions on what we should be watching. Email us at plusplatoon@gmail.com. We are on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Our Instagram has been blowing up lately, thanks to Pete. We are available on all the major podcasting networks. Go listen to us and go over to Apple Podcast and give us those 5-star reviews. That's what really helps get us out.
And that's what Christmas thing would you like us to watch, or holiday? Let's broaden it for Christmas.
Yeah. We've got a Vault episode coming up, and we have an idea on what we're going to watch. But
we do?
Yeah, we do have an idea on what we're going to watch.
You have an idea?
Yeah, a fairly strong idea. But give us an idea. Give us something that, people should watch that's on Disney Plus. That's a holiday show. That, especially one that maybe not everyone has necessarily seen. So with that, guys, thank you. We are back here Kate is back here next week at 9 Eastern.
Join me, Sam. Come join me.
Yeah. And with that, we will say good night. So good night, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for watching this week's episode of the Plus Platoon. Be sure to subscribe to the Plus Platoon podcast to keep getting great content each week. Then head over to Apple Podcast and leave those 5-star reviews, as they help make the Plus Platoon visible to even more Disney Plus fans. Also, go to YouTube and like and subscribe to the Plus Platoon channel, where you can watch all future episodes live. If you have a question for the Plus Platoon, please send us an email to plusplatoon@gmail.com or connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram @PlusPlatoon.
The Plus Platoon is a Disney Plus fan podcast and is not affiliated with the Walt Disney Company or the Disney Plus streaming service. All opinions expressed on the show are solely those of the individual hosts and in no way reflect the views of the Walt Disney Company.
Thanks for watching, and be sure to stay tuned for next week's episode, because the Plus Platoon is to be continued.